Yeah. So before we start off, we have a few housekeeping items. Firstly, the meeting is recorded and this meeting will be published on YouTube. So you can reference it later if you want. All meetings in the Kubernetes community abide by a code of conduct, which you can find at the link on the bottom of the slide. It basically sums up to please be respectful of the speakers and your fellow attendees and generally be excellent to each other. Now, please use the chat to ask questions and have discussions throughout this call. There will be a Q&A section at the end where we encourage you to ask questions verbally if you would like to. Also, a copy of these slides is available on GitHub and the link is also in the meeting invite. We will post the link in the chat in some time and note that on GitHub, the slides are provided as a PDF file. The links in the deck are not clickable as displayed on GitHub, but they should be clickable if you download the file. So let's move on. Now, let me introduce myself. My name is Arpit Agarwal. I am contributing to Kubernetes for a while now. I am also an editor at LWKD, which is last week at Kubernetes development. It's a newsletter. I also coordinate. I am also a YouTube admin for the Kubernetes channel, and recently I qualified my Kubestronaut. So yeah. Now let's talk about the agenda of this meeting. So the purpose of this meeting is to basically orient you in the Kubernetes community. Now, that basically means that we will give you a sense for how the community works and what part is or could be within it. Now, basically, we will start off with a presentation to convey the information about the community. Then we will have a Q&A where you are welcome to ask any questions you would like to host today. Now, uh, I will emphasize on like ask questions at the end of the meeting as that can benefit anyone from watching it. Like let's say multiple folks have similar question, and if anyone asks it, that is answered for all. So like it is completely optional if you are comfortable doing it. We will also be monitoring chat. So if you are not comfortable speaking verbally, you can also ask the all of your questions via chat. Now let's dive in. Now, let's first talk about the Kubernetes community. And as you can see from the picture, the Kubernetes community is a very big group of people who work together to create and maintain the Kubernetes project. Now, to give you a sense, like here are some numbers to like imagine how big the Kubernetes community is. So we get data about our contributors via GitHub and few other contributor tools, and we collect the data in a tool called DevStats. So DevStats is basically a big database of information about Kubernetes contributions, and you are welcome to explore it yourself as well. So, like as you can see, these stats are pulled on March 11, 2026, and as you can see, there are almost 99,000 contributors who have made around 4.5 million contributions, and all these contributions are reviewed by just under 9K reviewers. So, like, we will talk about what our contribution might mean and who a reviewer might be in a bit, like a little later in this presentation. But hold on these two terms. Now, before we dive into the community, some of you may be unfamiliar with what Kubernetes is and what it does. So, let me give you an overview. So Kubernetes is an open source container orchestration tool. Now, I know some of you might not aware of what is orchestration means or what open source means. So open source here basically means that Kubernetes project is made by people around the world, and some of those people are being paid to work on it, but many of them are volunteers. And code of the Kubernetes software is publicly available under an open source license that describes exactly who, when, and how the software and its source code can be used. And the cool thing that Kubernetes does is orchestrate containers. Now let's understand what that means, right? Now here is a basic example of what Kubernetes is in a nutshell. So businesses can have many applications they need to run. Like for example, they have a payroll application or logistics application or as simple as their own company website. So what now businesses like these applications from businesses need to run somewhere, right? They need to run some. So businesses also have a lot of computers to run these applications on. Yes, as you can see from the pic, these are servers, but server is also computer. So businesses have a lot of computers slash servers to run applications on. So now where Kubernetes fits in. So as you can see, what Kubernetes enables businesses to say. So businesses can go to Kubernetes and they can just say, "Hey Kubernetes, here are the computers I have, and here is the app I need to run on them." Now they ask Kubernetes that Kubernetes can describe various levels of detail about how the application needs to run or the hardware it might need, and Kubernetes will just run it on their computer for them. So it like Kubernetes also provides some handy functionality apart from like running applications. They all Kubernetes also allows everyone to manage the application while it's running. For example, Kubernetes can provide some help for the process of updating the application to a newer version. Now, exactly how it does this magic is what Kubernetes contributors work to maintain and improve every day. Now, moving on, let's as now you have understood what Kubernetes is, let's move towards Kubernetes community structure. So here, as you can see, this is how Kubernetes community structure is. So as I have mentioned earlier also, like Kubernetes is an open source project, but this project comes under Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So abbreviation is CNCF. So what CNCF is? The CNCF is a non-profit organization, and their mission is to make cloud native ubiquitous. Now, to that end, CNCF also support many open source projects that enable companies to run applications in the cloud. Uh, Not only that, CNCF also provides a variety of guidance to these projects. Like, for example, CNCF supports its projects including like they cover legal support, they cover code of conduct. CNCF also help projects with logos and copyright maintenance and much more. Now, the pyramid below the CNCF represents the structure of the Kubernetes community, like this whole triangle pyramid. This is the main Kubernetes community structure. So, as and when you are interacting with the Kubernetes community, this is how the community is structured. So, as you can see at the top, like we have steering committee. Now, steering committee is a group of 7 members, like it's a body of 7 members who are elected by Kubernetes org members. Now, I will go through what org membership is in a bit, but steering committee is basically the body which take decisions. Like as you can see from the name, it's steering committee. So they make the decisions, and generally they are the folks who interact with CNCF on behalf of Kubernetes community. Uh, so that is what the steering committee is. Now moving on. Now we have now six working groups, six and working groups. Now this is this is the main part where you will be interacting, like this middle of the pyramid. Now Kubernetes is a very large project, right? So there are many different concepts in the projects itself that need unique skills and knowledge. Like each part requires a unique skill. Like for example, uh, the way Kubernetes nodes work. Kubernetes nodes where workloads are run. So they need a specific area of expertise to work upon. Meanwhile, you can assume the challenge of writing and maintaining the Kubernetes docs need folks with a different area of expertise. So, like this, Kubernetes projects require different folks who have different areas of expertise to work upon. And like so, SIGs are people who work on a specific area of the project come together, and that is what we call an special interest group or SIGs. Now, this is the official definition, but if you want to understand it more simply and how I look at it personally, is SIGs are basically teams. So, like in a uh, typical company setup, we have different teams. Let's say documentation team. So SIG Docs is basically documentation team. Or like I am hosting this new contributor orientation, which is part of the SIG contributor experience, Contribex Comms. So you can also say that Contribex Comms team is responsible for hosting these new contributor orientation. So SIGs are basically just teams in the Kubernetes community. Now, sometimes it's like it's often happen that a particular area that needs attention that is both very significant and that's basically overlap with the like with many areas of expertise, like maybe that particular uh, area require attention from both sig docs and sig release or like multiple sigs, like they that particular problem needs folks who can work from multiple areas of expertise. That is when a working group is formed. Now, a working group is generally temporary. Working group is created to address a specific issue and then meant to disappear. So basically, what that means is like if there is a running problem which requires folks from multiple sites, a working group is created to solve that problem or let's say a feature. Now what happen is when a defining category like a defining characteristic of working group is that they generally don't own any code or features, like at least not in long term. So working group get formed, they work on a problem and they either get dissolved or they merge within a particular sig. So at the end the code is owned by some sig in which the working group is dissolved, like is merged, or the working group is entirely dissolved. So this is how it works. Now, even within a particular SIG, like we are going to talk about sub projects, and sub projects are basically under a particular SIG. Now, if you ask like why we need sub projects, so like a particular SIG work can be very broad. So uh, and like there can be hundred of contributors in a single SIG too. So SIGs further break down their work into sub projects. Now, currently, we have 24 SIGs, 9 working groups, and 3 committees. You can all check them out in the link below. Now, uh, different SIGs are like divided into different levels. So these are 3 levels. So some groups operate at the project level. Now, these groups are like core groups. So basically, the groups which comes under the project level, they directly impact the Kubernetes project. You can imagine it like that. Then we have the horizontal level, meaning that they have technical focus that is both deep and broad, and they own core functionality from a project architecture perspective. So then we have vertical groups. Now vertical groups have deep and specific technical focus, but that depends on the work of horizontal groups, and of course both horizontal and vertical groups depend on the work of project groups. Now you can see here is an example of how different SIGs are divided into these different levels. So just to call out a few names, you can see SIG release and docs. Now, I am assuming that you are familiar with their work. Like SIG release manages the whole Kubernetes release cycle, and docs is like wholly responsible for the Kubernetes documentation. And these two SIGs come under project scope, right? And though you may not have known it, you have probably encountered the work of SIG API machinery and SIG auth before. Now, we consider these to be in horizontal groups, and in the vertical groups, you can also find lots of familiar concepts like auto scaling, scheduling, networking, and node. Now, you might want to refer back to this diagram later as when you are exploring groups to contribute to. So feel free to ask questions about these during the Q&A or in the chat below. But for now, we are going to move along to talk more about contribution. Now, as you have learned the basics of how the Kubernetes community is structured, now the next logical question is like, why do you want to contribute? Now let's explore it, right? Now, there can be many reasons why people contribute to the Kubernetes community. Like for some, their job requires contributing, but there are also contributors who work with the community on a purely volunteer basis. Now, there are also those who are somewhere in the middle, like where their work needs them to contribute sometimes, but they also do extra work for the community outside of their job. So, why do many people contribute without getting paid? Now, the answer to this question is like very subjective. Like they may want to grow some specific skills for their resume, or maybe they want to meet people working in the industry, or maybe they just think that the technology is super cool and they want to deep dive and help build it. Or sometimes it just happens that folks just like being part of a community of people, like or working towards a similar goal. So their reasons can be different, and your reason of contributing can also be different. But what I would emphasize on that, think carefully about why you want to contribute, because as you get more engaged with the community, you will get more out of it. And if you can clearly tell people what you want, like it will help others to understand, and they can coordinate accordingly. Like if others know who you are and what you want and what you can do, they can more easily help you find work opportunities and connections that will most benefit you. So that's why think carefully why you want to contribute at the very first place. Because if you can communicate clearly, like why uh, you are contributing, that's make it easier for others to help you get started within the community. Now, let's talk about what does it mean to be a contributor. Now, regardless of what you are interested in, the thing is any work that you do to support the open source Kubernetes project is count as a contribution. And I know like this sounds a bit broad and vague, but it's important. Like there's a lot of work contributors do behind the scenes to make this project run, and it's certainly not all writing code. Like not all the work folks do to support the Kubernetes project is code and making pull requests on GitHub. Certainly, it's the major part of the project, but there are other more like non-code work which is super essential for the project. So you can get involved in many ways, not just writing core code. Now, uh, as you can see from this slide, you can see what counts as a contribution. Now, as simple as taking notes in a community meeting or asking a question in Slack, or like even if you can correct a grammatical or a spelling error in documentation, these all counts as a contribution. If you have some technical expertise, you can implement a new feature or part of the feature. You can try exploring a particular cap, which is Kubernetes enhancement proposal. If you come across something and you want us to get aware about, you can file an issue about it. If you are already using Kubernetes and you want to write a blog post, that's you are most welcome to do that. And you can also help a fellow contributor work through a problem, and like much more. Like I said, anything you to support the Kubernetes open source project is a contribution. And as a community, we try our best to acknowledge and appreciate contributions to the community in many forms. But if like so many vague and varied things can count as a contribution, then you can be curious, like, what does it mean to be a contributor? Now, that's where the contributor ladder came. As you can see, there can be like various levels of being a contributor. So you might remember our slide earlier where we mentioned like contributors and reviewers. So this slide basically deep dive into more detail on what those terms actually means. Now let's start from the bottom, right? So anyone can be a contributor. So it's basically like if you do any of the things mentioned on the previous slides and more, you are already a contributor. If you contribute to the community in any way that you might like that you might be what we call a non-member contributor. Like if you are contributing in any way, like it's basically like you pop into the community and contribute to it, likely in a small and disconnected ways. Like you pop in some Slack channel, you fix some documentation. So you are like contributing in small chunks. That is where that is what we call the non-member contributors. But like, what if you want to like really get involved with the community, then you might want to go for an org membership. Remember, I told you like when we are like when I am explaining the steering committee, that org members choose the seven members of the steering committee. So let me go through what org membership is. Now, from a non-member contributor to a Kubernetes member, you require an org membership. Now, a org membership basically refers to a like it basically means you are a member of the Kubernetes organization on GitHub, and being an org member gives you higher privileges to interact with the tools contributors use to do their work. Like on GitHub, we use certain tools, like we have our ProwBot in GitHub, which helps us apply labels and configure issues using GitHub comments. So we can use for example like /OK to test, and ProwBot will take care of it. Now, having org membership is a sign that you are an active and engaged contributor who intends to contribute in more structured way within the community. Now, you are not just that basically means you are not just picking up a single issue or asking a one-off question. You are basically probably developing expertise in a certain area of the project, and that also means like you might be contributing to one or more sub project or six in consistent and in measurable ways. So that is what basically mean by the Kubernetes org member. So you will be ready to become a Kubernetes org member when the contributors you work with regularly are familiar with you and your work, and will vouch for you as sponsors on your request for membership. So basically, let me explain how this works. So if you are contributing to a particular area, so your fellow contributors know you, and after contributing for a while, you can ask them that you want to go for the Kubernetes org membership, and that is where so basically Kubernetes org membership requires two sponsors who can vouch for your work, and you can ask them. Generally, community is very welcoming, and if you are contributing, you can just ask and apply for the org membership. It's quite simple and easy. Now, beyond becoming an org member, there are increasing level of trust. Like there are increasing level of trust, ownership, and responsibilities that you could choose to pursue. And like once you have been engaged in an area for a while, you might have enough knowledge to help review contributor. You can now have knowledge to help review contributions or pull requests from other contributors because you are contributing for a while. So generally, or like the next step would be to because you have such knowledge, now you can also review other peers. So that is when you can become a reviewer. Now, like eventually, you might be trusted enough to have the final say on whether some code is merged or a contribution is accepted. And like for example, you have the final say whether a blog goes out on the Kubernetes site. Then you would be an approver. Now, the next is like sub project owner. So it is basically like if you become a strong expert in a specific area who is highly trusted and regarded for, now you are like regarded for your expertise. Then you might take on new responsibilities. You might become the person others come to with questions like, hey, do you know about this? And you might lead try sessions or other work for that age. At this point you might be a sub project owner. So basically it's like maintaining the whole sub project in a particular SIG, and for that you require a strong expertise. Now, the next we have the sub project lead. So it goes like if you are an expert who starts leading things in that area, you might also take on responsibilities for various resources within that area and how they relate to other parts of the project. For example, mm, you might take responsibilities for the README file defining a whole sub project, which is where people would go to learn about it, and you might become the contact person who triages requests from other parts of the project. At that point, you might be a sub project lead. Now, if you are leading a whole sub project, that's already a considerable chunk of work within a SIG. You are now probably interacting and collaborating with leads of other sub projects, and you are probably like developing a pretty strong sense of the mission, objective, and ongoing work of the SIG as a whole. At that point, you may become a chair or tech lead for an entire SIG. So if you remember our community structure diagram from earlier, like you can also like might wonder if becoming a member of the steering committee would be a next step. But the thing is, steering is an elected position. So as I told you, Kubernetes org member elects the members of the steering committee. So you can actually run for steering at any point past org membership. So like it is not required that you need to be a SIG chair or a tech lead. But if you have the GitHub org membership only, you can technically run for the steering election. But like you will more likely to get elected the better other contributors know you and your work. So that's about the contributor ladder. Now, like this ladder can seem like one true path in contribution, but like I want to remind you that there is no single path for your contributor journey. Like most contributors end up contributing in multiple areas of projects. Like some people even develop ownership in different SIGs at the same time. Like people can be involved in multiple SIGs. They can be like a reviewer in a SIG and approver in some other SIG. So like just because you are learning and contributing to one SIG, it doesn't mean you can't check out another. You are always free to explore other SIGs. You are always free to get involved with any other SIG, and that's all upon you. Like remember, most contributors are at least partially volunteers. Like most of the contributors start as volunteers. Almost everyone who is contributing is doing it because they love it. So look around for like find what you love and do that. Like it's not compulsory that you get stuck to a particular SIG. But now the next thing is how to start contributing. And like as we established throughout the section, like you already might be a non-member contributor. And now from my personal experience, there can be a case you are already looking at GitHub for some issues or something like this, and I understand that you can be overwhelmed. Like that's a like very common issue. Like and there can be a case that you are finding issues which are already taken, or like good first issues like taken almost immediately, right? So how you can actually find something to start contributing. Now the fastest way is to join a SIG. Now the thing is, when you join a SIG, like that might not mean immediately picking up an issue and writing code. Often getting involved means attending meetings, reading notes, and understanding existing issues, and just generally starting to get a feel of like what the group is doing, like what the group does. So the core idea is like you don't immediately jump to ISO, but what you do is you go into a SIG, try to understand what that SIG is doing, attend some meetings, and then you can get an idea. And from then you can actually get an ISO. Now, like to stay up to date, you can obviously join the Kubernetes Slack. Now, Kubernetes is Slack is our primary way the community communicates. Now, second, what you can join is the Kubernetes Developer Google group. That is the primary way the community share announcement. So, if there anything which needs to be communicated to everyone, we generally share that in that Google group, and it's basically you will receive an email for it. Now, okay, you might ask, okay, I can join the SIG, but how do I know like what SIG to join? How do I know whether a SIG interests me or not? So let's explore how you can learn about SIGs. Now, you can check the Kubernetes/community repo on GitHub. Now, as you can see, this repo lists all the SIGs. Like it will have a folder for each and particular SIG and working group. So as you can see, you can find folders containing information about each SIG and working group here. Now, when you click on a SIG folder in the community repo, it will show you that folder's README first. So at the top of this file, you will find a brief summary that what is the SIG focus area and likely a link to their more detailed team charter. So the charter explains in well detail what the SIG does. This is like the top of the README is a short introduction, so you can check both of these out. Next, if you can see there the meeting links, like below the summary of the group, you will find information about when the group meets. Now, attending meetings is often a very great way to learn more about who is in the group and what they're currently working on, and how like how they do their work. Now, from my personal experience, when I started attending meetings, everyone, like any contributor you talk to about attending meetings, there can be a case where you can get overwhelmed, like what they are, like what the folks are talking about. And from my personal experience, what I can suggest is that you need to ask questions. You can on every invite there's a meeting notes. You can check that out in advance, like what the folks have talked about in previous meetings, so you can get some idea. And you can always ask questions in the meeting itself, because the community is very welcoming, and if you want to get started, they will help you get started. The only thing is you need to ask. And now all of us understand that like attending a SIG meeting for the very first time can be overwhelming. So like if you don't get anything, you can just ask in the meeting, or like after the meeting in the Slack, and you can get started. Now, you will also find information about the SIG leadership, like who is responsible for managing the SIG. Now, most of the SIGs have the concept of chairs and technical leads both. Like if you remember from the contributor ladder, we have SIG chairs slash tech lead, but most of the SIGs have both. So like SIG chairs tend to do more project management type of work in like for the SIG, while tech leads tends to do more architecture leadership, like managing repos and certain kinds of technical decisions and processes. So each SIG defines what these roles mean to them, and each leader will be a little different. So you can interact with them. Generally, in SIG meetings, you will find chairs and tech leads. So you can join the meeting and interact with them, and you can get started. Now, the second thing is you will also find the contact information for the SIG. Like most of the SIGs in the Kubernetes community like do asynchronous communication in their channel within the Kubernetes Slack, which you can join by visiting the slack.kx.io. And you can also find the mailing list. So apart from the Google group I mentioned earlier, uh, in which the Kubernetes community do the announcement, each SIG also have their own mailing list. So if you want updates from a particular SIG, you can join this mailing list, and you can get invites for the meetings, and it will be synced with your calendar. Now, you will also find information about where to find issues and PRs related to that SIG, and other information like the GitHub teams that are part of the SIG. So, you can check out like some SIGs mention some PRs, and they also mention their GitHub teams, so you can refer it. Now, no, I again am emphasize on like join the Kubernetes Dev Google group, and it's basically known as KDev. So this is like the primary mailing list for communication and important contributor in information. Now, finding meetings in the GitHub repo is one thing, but Kubernetes also maintains a Kubernetes community calendar. So you can go at kates.dev/calendar, and you can find every single meeting here listed according to the time. Why? Like it will be sorted out. It's a proper calendar. It is like sorted out. You can check out each meeting, their time when it is happening. So you can have a look at this. So basically, if you click on one of the meeting, it will bring up a new window for you to add the meeting to your own calendar, and this can be a great way to get a sense for which groups which group meets at which time, and you can join the meeting accordingly. Now let's talk about the current work opportunities. Now like you know how the community is structured, and where you could fit in, and like how you can start learning more. You might also want to know like if there is any active open work you could pick up and become part of it. So we basically reach out to different SIG leads each month to ask them to share any current work opportunities they would like to uh, get contributors on. So these are some of them. So like these are some evergreen opportunities. You can join the meeting and take notes. So for this, no experience is required, and this is open in most of the states. Now, if I talk about SIG contracts, so we have something we have an spotlight block series, but currently it is an on hold, like because we don't have enough blog reviewers. So you can check out SIG docs, and you can consider becoming a reviewer. But to note, like becoming a reviewer requires a particular area of expertise. You should have good command on English, and you should be able, you should have enough technical knowledge to review blogs. So we are always looking for more reviewers. So you can check out SIG docs, and you can just mention that okay, I have attended the NCO, and uh, I can help with the reviews, and you can get started just like that. Then we have like maintenance submit staff that is like twice per year. where we have sub projects, events, and for this you will require org membership. And this is an in-person event, so if you are uh, interested in that, you can uh, you can go to Sick Contracts channel and show your interest over there, and from there we can help you get started. Then we have some evergreen opportunities from Sick Docs. This is again PR reviews. Anyone can review them, and there's also a PR wrangling shadow program. This is basically a program to help new reviewers get started. This is you can assume a structured way to get started as a reviewer in Sick Docs. Then we SIGDocs also run a new contributor meet and greet. That is the first Tuesday of every month and 10:30 UTC. You can also find this in the community calendar. Then SIG architecture have some general call for help. If you want to know about it, join their meetings, or you can just ping them in the Slack. Mm, and evergreen opportunities are a great because they represent work that always needs doing. So evergreen opportunities will always be available. Uh, but a lot of work is a one-off style work. For example, an issue that needs fixing or working on a new feature. Like many of these types of tasks require certain skills to complete. Now you might see an open request that requires a skill you want to develop and think you should pick up, and that task pick up the task to learn. Like this works like this. Like you see an open issue which requires, let's say, a particular skill. Now what happened is you are thinking that let's pick this up and I will learn all the go, but be aware of doing this, because if the task was easy for someone, like if the task is easy, someone has already done it, it probably won't be open. But many requests with skill requirements are open because no one in the community currently has those skills, so they can't teach them to you. Or there can be a simple case because people who do have those skills are too busy, like they don't have time to work on that particular issue. So but if you are coming to the Kubernetes community with existing skills, like say you know a certain like programming language, or you have specific skills like Linux, networking, or expertise in a certain area, do consider picking them up. And what I will suggest from my personal experiences, like if you see an open issue within skill requirement, first ask in the particular SIG whether that is still open or not. And you can also join that meeting to understand what the SIG wants to do with it. Like don't just go and start working on it, because sometimes that feature or the PR can be old, or it can be a multiple of things. So like you can just attend the meetings and you can get clarity on it, like before you start working on it. So what I will suggest is go in a SIG meeting and you can just ask hey, I see this issue and it's quite like it is open for quite some time. Will this still require will that issue require someone to still work on it, or uh, is it already done, or like is someone working on it? And then you will get some clarity on it, and then you will know whether to start working on it or not. There can be a case where you can get some entirely different opportunity by asking, so that is always a possibility. So do ping in the SIG channel, or ask in the meeting if you come across an issue you want to work on. Now, these are some opportunities which require some skill levels. So ETCD have some opportunities. You can have a look. Like they have a new docs project. They need some folks to maintain documentation. Then these are some help wanted good first issues. Like they want help with their website, and then they also need like there's a testing framework project they need help with. So these are different issues you can have a look, and you can just go to SIG etcd and ask like if you have certain skills. Yeah, like you can just go and ask, hey, I want to contribute, I see some open issues, are there anything which I can work upon? You can check the meetings also, and you can join the SIG meeting. Now, I know you can find that I am emphasizing on joining the meeting and pinging in the Slack channel again and again. So the thing is, that's how the Kubernetes community work. So you like by attending meetings, you also make connections. Plus, that way, the level of trust increases. Like if you are attending meetings, folks will know you. They will know, okay, there is this person who is working with us, and that's how the trust increase. So yeah. Now we have SIG UI. So the thing is, if you know, the Kubernetes dashboard is now retired, and there's a new project called Headlamp. Now it is the recommended Kubernetes Web UI. So they also require contributors to help with some issues. So if you have like, you can just go to SIG UI and ask, same attend meetings. So yeah. Then we have uh, uh, like we have some opportunities from SIG auto scaling. So we have carpenter, they need some help with like carpenters. You can have a look. Mm, then we have some opportunities from SIG API machinery. Uh, they need help with the DV sub project, and they have some good successful opens. You can check them out on their repo. And again, you can just ask in their channel like what issues are open, and you can check out the meeting notes. I highly recommend checking out the meeting notes because every SIG maintains meeting notes, and every SIG meeting is recorded and it's publicly available on the YouTube. So you can get an instant idea like what is something they are working on. As like if there is no one to contribute on a particular issue, generally it is mentioned in the meeting note, and you can just have like you can just get look of it, and you can just ask them. That's like help you to improve your context, what I feel. Now let's talk about SIG contracts. We need help with website maintenance. So SIG contracts is responsible for maintaining Kubernetes website, and we are also having a mentoring program where we need some support. So if you have like organization skills, planning, communication skills, you are most welcome to help with it. Then also Electro project is being migrated. If you don't know what Electro is, so Electro is basically like Kubernetes uses it for the steering election. It's a separate project, but now it's being donated to Kubernetes, and we are migrating it. So if you want, you can like ping us in the thing contributes to uh, help there. Again, SIG docs have some blog review requirement, and there's a localization project going on. So um, if you can like if you know a certain language in which Kubernetes is already localized, and you found some errors, or you want to like help maintaining Kubernetes documentation in a localized language, feel free to reach out. Then we have SIG testing. You can help with the Bot, as I mentioned. Then there is we like SIG testing also maintaining conformance testing tool Hydroform. They also require like it also require more contributors to work on. So you can check them out as well. Again, SIG network heads uh, you can help with gateway API, as Ingress Nginx is now retiring. So there are that, and we need more API reviewers. You can check out SIG release. They are you can help out with automation, like if you have skills such as coding, scripting, and you can just go and check them out. Then we have security. Uh, security, they basically uh, are working with CV, like CVEs now. So if you have familiarity with CVEs and security concepts, do check them. Now let's talk about some common contributions, pitfalls. Now, so the very common one, and this thing is the good versus true trap. So, like as I mentioned earlier, like if you are a new contributor and you are checking out GitHub, like if you're primarily like the first thing what you checked is GitHub, then you can probably fall into this trap. Like so, its scenario is something like this: like you are a like you are a new contributor and you are excited to make your mark on the community, right? And you find an issue with the good first issue label on GitHub. So now you think, oh great, let me claim this issue and I will write some code, and yay, I have like contributed to Kubernetes. But uh, take a step back. Like the thing is, once you pick up the good first issue, exactly how are you going to complete it? Like, uh, for example, a simple thing is I mentioned earlier that Kubernetes community uses some tools like the Prow bot to help us manage issues. Like, so are you familiar with the bot? Like, is it fine if you like? It is completely fine if you are not, but uh, maybe you will start writing code and you open a PR. Then I mentioned about reviewers and approvers and owners, like we mentioned. They will appear to make sure the issue has the right labels and stuff on it. Once you have written your code, you will also need to get their attention to review your PR, because uh, Kubernetes community have like lot of contributors and lot of PRs. So it's not always feasible for the reviewers to look at your PR like instantly. Like if you remember the first like couple of us of the slides, we have only 9K reviewers who manage like 4.5 million contributions. So you can take an idea. Also, like when you make your PR, reviewers and approvers will be automatically assigned. But what if there are issues in your code? You might need to go back and forth with the reviewers on GitHub. Like they will provide you some suggestions on the GitHub, then you will implement them. Then there can be some more suggestions, then you will implement them again. So it's quite of like back and forth. So are you comfortable like using commands and pull requests to see the work through, like and to get it to like to get your PR to completion? It requires a sometimes a lot of back and forth. Like if it's a complex feature, even sometimes a simple feature requires quite back and forth. So are you comfortable with it? Now that is what happened with most good first issues. Like they get picked up by new non-member contributors, and they never make it to completion. So their code never get checked, and then the community has all these stale issues and PR sitting around for work. We really needed them done, but the person got lost, and ending like then that person ended up like abandoning their contribution halfway. Then those reviewers, approvers, and owners have to go through the process of triaging the issue and opening it again, or whatever else like needed to be done with it. So this is a running problem where if you like pick up the good first issue without any context, you might get lost. And to avoid this trap, the simple thing is to join a SIG, because when you join the SIG and you ask them, they the folks there are in much better position to provide you with the context, like what going on and what actually like uh, if you are looking at the good first issue, there can be a case there that is no longer needed. So they can like tell you that, and they can like point you towards what is needed to be worked upon. So just join a SIG. Also, like I know that it's a bit of a lot of information today, and this is just the orientation meeting, right? It's I know it's a lot of, but when you join your first SIG meeting, you are probably going to be overwhelmed, as I mentioned earlier, because it's literally like jumping into a mid river. But a lot of SIG meeting exists for like the folks in the SIG meetings. They are already familiar with the meeting, so they will be like talking about what's going on. And now, let's say you suddenly pop up and you are trying to understand it midway. So there can be a case you can get overwhelmed, but that doesn't mean you should you should not join as a new contributor. The thing is, you will learn faster by joining these meetings and watching the processes in action, because a lot of working sessions happen in these meetings. Like folks come together and like they work sometimes live. uh, so yeah, and again, what I emphasize on, like if you are not getting something, try researching it a bit, and you can just ask like, okay, hey, can you like explain me what this is or what this feature is? I know this about this, but I don't have any context. Like I am a new contributor here. So, and just asking this much will help the like folks in the meeting to help you get started. Like you need to ask uh, their help. Like you need to ask, and then only they can help you with getting started. So I mainly emphasize on asking about your doubts, and don't hesitate to ask them. And like it like this is the whole thing. Like some folks might feel left out or like lost for the couple of few sig meetings, but again, the thing is, you can ask questions, and you can ask in the chat, you can ask after the meeting. If you want, you can check out the previous meetings, because I all of the sig meetings are recorded on YouTube. You can check out the Kubernetes YouTube channel, and you will find like for every sig there is a particular playlist. You can check out the playlist, and you can have access to all the previous meeting recordings. So you can have some context. Now, I know Kubernetes community is a very big and diverse place, and it's diverse in terms of like people, skills, technologies, and like so much more. It might take you a while to find the place that clicks with you. There might be a particular say or sub project where you find more opportunities to build your skills or connections that are most important to you. Like, please don't forget that you can move around and explore other groups within the project. Most contributor end up contributing in multiple areas, and many find a particular area that they dive deep on. And please remember, like no two contributors have the same journey. So you will need to explore to find best places for you. Like regardless of which areas you explore, like we need your help, and we are glad you are here. Now, I know we covered a lot today, and getting started in the Kubernetes community means learning a lot of basic tools, processes, structures, and more. Like you can check out these links and refer to them often as you grow. Also, these slides will be available on GitHub, and also like if you have any questions to ask, now feel free to ask them. I will be more than happy to answer. Like also, if you are not comfortable like asking verbally, I am also monitoring the chat. If you have any sort of questions, feel free to ask. How can I select a particular sig? Rajesh, the thing is like if you are exploring SIGs, if you can help me know about more of your skill set, I can recommend some.
Well,
Hello, hi.
yeah, hi. So actually, I have experience on C++ uh, development, multi-threading applications. So can you please help me? Which SIG will be suitable for me?
Yeah, so you can check out. So like as you have said, you have experience like multi-threading and all. You can check out SIG architecture. You can check out SIG node. One thing like most of the Kubernetes now, not most of the generally Kubernetes folks work with Go and other languages. So what you can do, like you can go to SIG node, SIG architecture, and you can like ask them. You can also check out SIG etcd, and you can ask them like you have these certain skills, and are there any particular issues, or like are there any work available for you to get on. I also emphasis on like join the SIG meetings. Like if you are trying to contribute to SIG meeting, like Kubernetes, if you want to contribute code, uh, ask in the Slack. But also what you can do is like join these different SIG meetings. Like go to these meetings, and you can introduce yourself like you like did here, and you can ask them. Plus, when you attend these meetings, what will happen is you will also get an idea of what that SIG is particularly doing. So you will get an idea, and like if that interests you, you can like just ask, okay, uh, I can work with it, and it's actually not an issue if you don't know everything about it. Generally, you can just say that you are interested, and you know these particular skill set, and folks from there will help you get started. Like if you need any resources for learning it and getting it done, you can just ask them, and you can get started.
Yeah,
I
thank
hope
you.
that
Thank
answers
you.
your question.
Yeah, thank you for
uh Igor, yes, generally it's Go, Bash, and a little little Python, but uh, Kubernetes projects, like on a broader terms, yes, Kubernetes projects work with Go, Bash, Python, and like couple of languages. But the thing is, mm, Kubernetes project also involves a couple of like more languages. The thing is, you need to like find it out like by attending the meetings. You can also ask it like in the Slack channels. Like there's a Slack channel for Kubernetes new contributors. You can just ask, like let's say you have an you have an expertise in, let's say, C++, or let's say some other language. You can just ask it in the Slack channel, like you have expertise with these certain skills, and folks will point you out. Like you don't need to do the searching part alone. You can just ask in the public channels, okay, I have these certain skills, and folks who are looking for those skills, either they will contact you, or folks who know, okay, there's a place where we need such skills, they will point you out to that. A simple example can be, let's say, I know some language, and I can write, hey everyone, I joined Kubernetes community, and I have these certain skills. Like I am proficient with C++, Java, and etc. So can you please help me point out to some opportunities which require these skills? Also, like if you are open to exploring new things, you can also mention there. So you can be just honest and ask in the uh, a new contributor channel. And not only that, if you have come out, like if you came across some PR or something on the GitHub, you can just sorry, you can just ping the particular SIG there. Like you can go to a particular SIG channel, and you can introduce yourself there as well. Then we have one from Aska. I hope I am pronouncing your name right. So like Aksha, again, same. You can introduce yourself in Kubernetes new contributors. Also, like if you want to like introduce yourself, your skills in the new contributors section. Also, you can explore some different SIGs and introduce yourself in those particular SIG channels as well. Because from new contributors, what will happen generally, like folks point you out to the different SIGs. But for some reason, if that like uh, if that doesn't clicks or that doesn't work, what you can do, you can explore some SIGs and you can attend couple of meetings and you can introduce yourself like I have these skills, and you can get started with it. Also, you can check out the slides. In the slides, for every particular opportunity, there's a link. You can check that out. You can check out the issues. If some things interest you, you can just ping the like you can just bring the SIG that require that sort of help. And as you like mentioned, you are currently learning computer networking, Linux, and Docker. You can check out SIG networking. You can check out the SIG release cycle. Like these skills are highly valuable, and we require them. So also, you can just ping me in the Slack. Like any one of you can ping me in the Slack, and I can help you like get started with the introductions and all if you want. So you can just ping me in the Slack. You can ping in the public channels as well. It's all open, and we can help you get started. Like it's like we welcome you all. So yeah. So like uh, are there any more questions? Because if not, I will going to stop the recording now. Like looks like we don't have one. So uh, thank you all for attending the new contributor orientation. I hope it provides you some value on how to contribute to Kubernetes and how to get started. And with that, please check out all the resources on the GitHub. And with that, we ends the contributor session. So bye bye, YouTube.